Okay, welcome to the explainer. Think about that daily can of soda. You know, the one. It's fizzy, it's sweet, and it feels like a totally harmless treat, right? But if you ever stop to really think about what's going on inside your body, like from the moment you take that first sip?
Well, it turns out this habit is way more common than you might guess. Get this. Health experts say 1 in 3 Americans cracks open a sugary soda every single day. Every single day. So the real question is, what's the actual price we're paying for this routine when it comes to our health down the road?
So today, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to follow that single sip of soda on a journey, right through the human body. We'll look at the immediate effects, sure, but we're also going to uncover some of those hidden long-term consequences for 3 key areas: our teeth, our bones, and yeah, even our kidneys.
All right, first stop on our trip, your mouth. The second that soda gets in there, the clock starts ticking. And here's the thing that might surprise you. The very first problem you face isn't even the sugar. Nope, it's the acid. Okay, so to really get what's happening here, we need to talk about something called critical pH. It's kind of like a shield for your teeth. As long as the environment in your mouth stays above a pH of 5.5, that protective outer layer, your enamel, is pretty safe. But the second it dips below that number, that's when the enamel starts to literally demineralize and dissolve.
And this is where it gets really eye-opening. Look at this comparison. You've got water, which is perfectly neutral at a pH of 7.0. Then you have coffee, which dips a little bit into the acidic zone, around 5.0. But then look at colas and other sodas. They're way down there between 2.5 and 3.5. That isn't just a little bit below the critical level of 5.5. I mean, that is a full-on acid bath for your teeth every time you take a sip.
So what happens when you hit your teeth with that acid over and over? Well, it's not pretty. Your enamel doesn't just get a little weaker, it starts to, well, it structurally disintegrates. This creates a rough, pitted surface that's just perfect for bacteria to cling to. And what does that lead to? A much higher risk of cavities and that awful, sharp, zinging pain we call tooth sensitivity.
But the story doesn't end in your mouth. Oh no. Once the components of that soda are absorbed into your bloodstream, they start to cause trouble throughout your entire system. So let's head deeper inside for our next stop, your bones.
You know, for the longest time, we've all been told that salt is the big bad guy when it comes to bone health. But check out this quote. New research is pointing the finger at a different culprit, sugar. And it turns out the massive amount of sugar in these drinks can kick off a whole chain reaction of problems for our bones.
And here's exactly how that chain reaction works. First, you drink the sugary soda. In response, your body actually gets rid of more calcium through your urine. At the very same time, that sugar rush makes it harder for your body to use vitamin D, which you absolutely need to absorb calcium from your food. So think about it. You're losing more calcium while also absorbing less. It's basically the perfect storm for weaker bones.
And if that wasn't bad enough, it's actually a double whammy. A lot of dark sodas, like colas, have something called phosphoric acid. So your body needs to keep this really delicate balance between calcium and phosphorus. When you flood it with all that extra phosphorus from soda, it throws the whole system out of whack. And to fix it, your body literally has to pull calcium right out of your bones, making them weaker and weaker over time.
Okay, for the final stop on our tour, we're heading to the body's main filtration plant, the kidneys. These guys have the tough job of processing everything we put into our bodies. And unfortunately, the stuff in a daily soda can be the perfect recipe for a really, really painful problem.
So here's the fundamental issue. Your kidneys run on water. They need it to do their job and flush out all the waste products. But here's the catch. Many sodas have caffeine in them, which is a diuretic. That's just a fancy word meaning it makes you pee more, so you actually lose water. This can lead to this constant low-grade dehydration, which just so happens to be the single biggest risk factor for kidney stones.
And the science on this is pretty clear. One huge study followed thousands of people and what they drank. The results? Drinking just 1 soda a day was linked to a 23% higher risk of developing kidney stones. That's a huge jump.
And when you break down the ingredients, it's easy to see why. You've got high fructose corn syrup, which can turn into oxalates in your body. That's a key ingredient for stones. Then you have that phosphoric acid again, which makes your whole system more acidic and helps the stones form. And finally, the caffeine causes the dehydration that lets all those minerals clump together and crystallize. It's a trifecta of trouble for your kidneys.
Okay, so we've taken this trip from the first sip all the way down to the kidneys. What's the bottom line here? What should we really take away from all this?
Well, we've seen pretty clearly that a daily soda habit is about a lot more than just empty calories. It's directly linked by science to three major problems: the erosion of your teeth, a loss of bone density, and a much, much higher risk for painful kidney stones.
And we can trace these issues back to three main culprits lurking in that can. First, the high acidity, which is a direct assault on your teeth. Second, all that added sugar, which kicks off that whole damaging chain reaction in your bones. And third, the phosphoric acid, which plays a role in both bone loss and kidney stones.
Look, the science really speaks for itself. From your mouth all the way to your kidneys, that daily soda habit triggers a whole wave of negative consequences. And that leaves us all with just one simple question to think about. Is that fizzy drink really worth the risk?